Welcome to Drag Race TV LA's weekly recap of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 6, episodes 1 and 2. We have 2 episodes to dive into today, so we will discuss the fashion, the fun, and the drama of both episodes. And remember, if you like to talk Drag Race, you've come to the right place. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Drag Race TV LA's weekly recap of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 6. I am Lorayne Love, joined with the outstanding Ollie Drennan.
Hi, the top 2 All-Stars of the week.
That's right. That's right. Thank you all for joining. I hope you found us. Had a little mess up there, so hopefully you found the new link and are joining us live. Thank you, Singud199. Thank you so much for the wonderful compliment. Let's throw that up on the screen. I'm trying to serve it every week for you guys. And be sure you follow us on the social medias. That's where you find out where we're doing these, how you can join the live chat, and where the links are when I don't mess up. All right. Ollie, overall thought. We're going to do one episode at a time. So we're going to discuss episode 1 first. Ollie, what is your thought on the premiere episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 6?
The premiere episode or episodes? I was gagged. First, I loved it. First and foremost, I love this cast. I love where it's going so far. I was shook that there's 2 episodes. I'm like, oh my God, well, shit. This review this Sunday is going to be a lot to unpack, but regardless, I can't complain because there's more content for us to enjoy.
Yeah,
but totally love this cast.
I was totally like, when I saw there were 2, I was like, oh my gosh, we get 2, and I actually was really kind of happy because this is the most queens they've had on a season. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that we got 2 out of the way, so it's not going to feel like season 13.
Yeah, and I told you I was at a viewing party because things are opening back up, and it's good to support the bars and whatnot. But I was like already way too drunk for another episode at the end of the first episode. I was like, no. So I literally I actually had to watch it the following day, the second.
Oh, okay.
But
the second.
I'm all caught up.
Yes. And I have to wear one of my gloves because otherwise I can't work my touchpad on my computer. So I'm not trying to do a Michael Jackson thing. I just, for technical reasons, I can only go with one glove today. And I'm going to have to take these off because as much as I love them, my eyelash is hitting it. So let's see who's in the chat. Ken is here. Amber, Luis, Manuel, Hernandez, Elias. I have to say your whole name. Singud199, Ken. I don't see Chucky Chuck. I wonder if he's taking the day off from us. Thank you guys for joining us live. I think this is a strong start of an All-Stars to me. Yeah, Ken. Thank you. Hello, Kitty. Thinks it's a great start. Yeah, you guys write in the comments. What are your thoughts of the start of the episode? I thought it started with a bang. Personally, I was like. And and I said this when we were talking about the Magenta's in the chat. Hello, Magenta. I said this when we were doing the first looks. This might be one of the first times with All Stars where I'm like, I don't know who's gonna win. Like, I feel like there's always kind of a front runner where you're like, I know it, But yeah, so
yeah, it's exciting. I like kind of letting us be on our toes because I kind of see some of the people that'll be at the end, but I don't know how we'll get there, and I still don't know who's gonna take it ultimately, the crown.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I have high hopes for the season as well. Thank you, Magenta. And you guys don't forget to subscribe. Other way, it's over there. down in that corner. Click on our logo and you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell if you'd like notifications when we go live, because sometimes Lorayne Love hits the wrong button and closes out of Chrome and we have to start all over again. One of the downfalls of wearing those red glasses while I was trying to navigate my computer. I agree. It's hard to predict. Yes, Amber agrees. It's going to be hard to predict who will win. Agreed. All right, so let's dive into episode 1. Ollie and I are not going to be discussing the entrance looks because Jayla, Jackie, and I did a review of the promo looks and the entrance looks. So I will link that in the description of this video. If you want to see that, it's on our channel. Those of you who are subscribed, it's on the All-Star 6 playlist. So check that out if you want to hear our thoughts on that. Oh, thank you, Miss Magenta. Thank you. Let's see, Amber, I was surprised but very upset to see more of Serena. Yeah, we'll be talking more about Miss Serena as well. Also, season shouldn't have a direct front run. Yes, I agree. This is a great comment. Who's this? Ken. I think that's important. An All-Star season shouldn't have a direct front runner. This season is anyone's game. I agree. Already the shade is high. Are we being shady already? We wouldn't be Drag Race TV without a little bit of shade. All right. So first and foremost, Ollie, did you notice? I don't know. Maybe they didn't play it at the bar. There's a new, not really a new song, but the melody of the opening is different. Do you have any initial thoughts on that?
It was cute. Maybe they just need to redo it for Paramount Plus. Who knows? But it's cute. I did notice it though.
And you guys write in the comments what you think of the little. It's a little different. I don't think it's huge. Obviously, I notice it because we're kind of like, ingrained in us that the way it goes. So sing good likes your hair, Ollie.
Oh, thank you. Not as good as Lorraine's, but
not as big as Lorraine's. Probably just as good, just not as big. All right. And then I kind of got you on this, Ollie, too, because I actually was a little fooled when they announced that there was going to be a 14th queen. I actually, for a moment, went, "Oh my God, is there really a 14th queen?" Like, I totally fell for it. It ended up being Miss Piggy, which I think is great. Did you like the appearance of Miss Piggy?
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, oh God, please put her on the panel. But I was very happy because I think there's already it's the all-star studded cast. Like, we don't need any more. The more the merrier, but no. I want one of these queens to win. And I don't know. I just never liked that. Like, reveal the final queen.
Yeah. And so they got started right away, which they usually do now for All Stars. Episode 1 is the reading challenge. Ollie, any standouts? Who did you like out of all of them? 13.
I definitely think Ginger deserved to win, but I just really I loved Kylie Sonique. I loved her read. She was just ready. She was waiting for the reading challenge. I thought she was great with her read to Ginger. You're like, what was it? Shaped like a deep breath. Love that. And then I also just loved Pandora's read to Eureka about we're here. And what did she? I forget what it was, but I loved her "We're Here" read from HBO.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was good.
But it was a really good. No one really fell flat.
I agree. I thought Ginger definitely deserved it. There were a couple that were kind of like, eh. And funny that you mentioned this, Amber, because this was in my notes to talk about. I don't know if you saw this, Ollie. There was a little bit of stuff on social media about Jan's reading of Trinity. Mm-hmm. Did you see this?
Yes, of course I did.
Why do I think that you may not? Sorry, this eye is watering.
It's the Karen energy. I saw the Karen energy, and also I think Jan's beautiful, but I don't think she's the funniest person in the room.
No. I guess what people were saying, for those of you who didn't read the controversy, it was more just mean than it was a read. And there was a lot of talk about, a white girl saying these things about a person of color, and stuff like that. I mean, like you said, Jan's not the funniest person in the world. I mean, I think she thinks she's the funniest person in the world. I think she's the best. In her mind, she's the best at everything. It was just, not a good thing.
Just be a little bit more self-aware, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, she has a huge fan base, and no one's really going to say. I'm glad people said something about it, because I think she is like constantly. She's a white, pretty queen, so of course she's constantly protected and whatnot. So I'm glad that people were upset by it. Well, I'm not glad people were upset by it, but I'm glad she was called out for it. Whether or not she meant it, it was good that people stood up against it.
Yeah. Also too, there are people that are kind of going after the queens already. None of us. I mean, yes, we do speak our mind here. Give you guys a chance to write stuff in the comments and stuff like that. But we're not directly sending these to the queens to bring them down and stuff like that. If they choose to watch these and hear our opinions, that's completely up to them. But I personally don't go after them, and we don't condone you guys doing that, because I know Jan was getting a lot of flack and stuff like that. I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of her necessarily, I'm definitely not a fan of treating the queens that way.
Yeah, I'm too busy reading myself, so
right.
I agree. Oh God, you stupid bitch! What are you doing? That's me to myself.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Elaine. By the way, Lorayne, thank you, Singa. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just reading some of these comments. Ale, a controversy about her using homophobic. Oh, there's also something about her using a homophobic designer. I mean, you guys, I feel like it's just, we get into this thing now where we have to delve into everything and pick everything apart. I mean, if it's a homophobic designer and they're working with Jan, who's a homosexual, isn't it good? You know what I mean? Like, how homophobic is he if he's working with Jan? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. How is a male designer? I don't know. It's weird. Homophobic. Weird. It's weird. First time I heard about it.
Yeah, I Hello Kitty just mentioned it in the chat. Yeah. So I do think the right person won. I think Ginger. I think one of them even said, I think it was Silky, when Ginger started, she's like, "Oh, be nice," or something like that. I think they all knew Ginger was gonna lay into them. All right. So the main challenge, again, typical All-Stars, was how the queens' charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent has grown since they were last on the show in an all-star variety show extravaganza. One of the things that in preparing for the challenge that was discussed in the room, which I think, again, is a very important thing that we all discuss, because it's something that people bring up all the time on episodes, that there's not enough POCs, that there's not enough big girls, that there's not enough this, there's not enough that. I think we can all agree that we have a excellent selection of diversity in this cast. And I think we should all applaud World of Wonder, RuPaul, and everybody for, if we're going to go after them for things like that, then we also need to praise them and thank them for doing it, and reflect that in our comments to those queens. We can all sit here and preach, but we need to go in and make it known how grateful we all are for this. Lots of big girls, 2 trans queen, lots of queens of color. So kudos to Drag Race All-Star 6 for doing this, whether it was conscious or not. We notice and we appreciate it. Ollie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, especially like on top of all of that, you just said a lot of queens such as like Trinity and Kylie, and like they've been waiting for this for so long. So that knowing that how much they want to be there on top of all of that, like you can tell the queens are excited. This is also shot last summer during COVID. So
yeah,
like there's just so much writing on these queens, and you can tell they're just so excited to be there in this diverse cast and being able to do this, X amount of months ago, where things are not, everything's open now, so it just everything's come full circle. So it's a really beautiful and exciting thing to witness as a super fan of these queens and of the show. So it's just like, even though we have to be on Paramount Plus for this, but we have to be perfect. Not everything's perfect.
Right.
But it's worth it though. At the end of the day, like,
for sure.
I have to sign up for another streaming service just to be able to support these queens in the show.
Yeah.
To do it.
Agreed. I agree. That's a great way to put it too, Ollie. If you guys are debating whether to get Paramount Plus and stuff like that, think of it, join it. I mean, even if you just join it for the months and let them know, message Paramount Plus, use their customer service and just say, hey, I just want you to know I'm getting this subscription specifically for this gay LGBT out and proud programming that you're putting on your channel. Like, again, these are the things we need to do. As much as we all love to jump on Yelp and complain about stuff, we also need to express when they're doing well and they're going in the right direction. Ken, I agree 1,000%. I'll probably talk about this a shit ton this season. I said it when on UK2 season 2 when oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on her name from Lawrence Chaney. That it was long overdue that a big girl won that. I do think it's a long overdue for a US big girl to win, and we've got one's kind of gone now, but 3 left that are options. And I Ginger, in my opinion, I said I even rewatched season 7 recently, and I was even more sure of it. She deserved to win season 7. And I also thought Eureka should have won her season as well. I think, the big girls kind of get, I don't know. I just feel like it's easy to kind of dismiss them and just go, well, I'm going to go with the pretty one and blah, 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 and, again, if we're going to do this diversity thing and show all the shapes and sizes of drag, I'm not a skinny queen by any means. I've got 2 or 3 corsets on at a time to give me my hourglass figure. So I do appreciate it, when a bigger queen does something. In my opinion, it takes more of an effort. I have to do certain things. I can only wear certain things that complement my figure. So I do think that they go. So Ken, I agree with you 1,000%. All right, T. The other thing I wanted to mention that was discussed as they were preparing for the talent show was, I thought this was just interesting. Trinity makes a good point that she did not have the phone numbers of any of these queens. She doesn't communicate with these queens on social media. So she was concerned that they may not, keep her around, that they might let her go. Again, I always think this is an important thing to point out too, that, even within the show, there's a clique within the show. The queens that, maybe see themselves as better than the other queens and stuff. But I thought it was important that she talked about it and made that clear to the fans. Did you notice that, Ollie?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Magenta. She agrees that Ginger should have won season 7. Max, you may not have gotten a notification because Lorayne Love messed up when I was trying to make this go live, and I had to start a new stream and everything. So it may not have notified you because it happened really, really quick. So I apologize. But thank you for coming, Max. I appreciate you being here. All right, so let's get into the talent show. There were no guest judges. It was family only. It was RuPaul, Michelle, Ross, and Carson. And there was also no runway because their outfits for the talent show were what they wore on the runway. All right, Ollie, let's just we're just going to discuss the tops and bottoms until the cast gets a little bit smaller. So the tops were Pandora, Raja, and Yara Sofia. And the bottoms were Silky, Trinity, and Serena Chacha. Let me start asking you first, Ollie. Do you agree with the top 3?
Mm, it's hard. So it's Pandora. It's who are the other ones? You
Raja
literally
O'Hara, who
Raja,
did the sewing,
and
and Yara,
then
who did the comedy with the big boobies.
yeah. I think it was hard because maybe some people, I see Amber didn't really like the talent show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because I think only one person like was just not good. And I love Trinity, but like I genuinely liked it. I really didn't know who they were going to pick. I know a lot of times it's like strategic on who they pick, but yeah, like I know they were in the top, but I really loved Scarlett's bubble performance. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
so cute, so burlesque. And usually those burlesque things usually do well in All Stars, the variety shows, except for Pheromone. But I was okay with it. I was okay with Pandora. I was okay with like the people who they chose in the top for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah, I thought the top two. I thought the top also was pretty. I questioned a little bit. I guess I might get yelled at for this. I questioned a little bit Raja's. I get it. I get she made a dress in a minute. Now let's not act like she made the most intricate dress in a minute. You know what I mean? Like this was very contrived. It was basically a tube dress that she put over her head. I mean,
It was
really,
cute though.
it was
Cute.
cute. I'm
I
not
think
saying it wasn't.
it was just like I think as a viewer, it was just like, oh my god, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna flop? Like I was thinking the whole time, honestly, I was like, she's not gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
And it was just like overall, I think you were captivated as an audience member, whether you liked it or not. And I think that's what's important for the variety show.
I get that, and I get that too. I just thought Kylie's song. I thought she did something I didn't expect. You know, knowing Kylie and seeing her at Mickey's all the time and working with her,
Mm-hmm.
I was really kind of shocked. Like I was like, I mean, she sounded great. She did something unexpected. She
Mm-hmm.
looked phenomenal. A lot of people are saying Jan should have won. I guess Bob and Monet said that Jan should have won. She hands down had the best singing. Those are some comments from the chat. I know somebody else. I think Adrian said she thought Raja should have won. So I'm sorry. I know Adrian's probably mad at me now for saying that. But yes, we do. We come here to discuss.
There were lots of good performances. Like I liked
Yeah.
Eureka's. I loved Eureka's tribute to her mom. I know maybe that was like lip syncing, but like everyone lip syncs for these things except for
Totally.
I don't even know if Jan lip synced or not. She did good. But yeah, I was just like, damn, can some of like more people be in the top? So I was just really, really impressed by this variety show.
Yeah.
Like, in particular.
I think so too. I was, when I rewatched it too, I think I enjoyed it more the second time around. And maybe you guys who didn't really like it, watch it again. See, maybe having seen it a second time, maybe you'll change your mind. And then so Silky, Trinity, and Serena were the bottom three. Agree or disagree? Anybody else you'd put in the bottom instead of them?
Trinity. I was kind of surprised Silky was in the bottom.
Okay.
I'm like,
she played the piano and sang.
Was it really that bad? Well, first of all, it's an instrument. I always will give props to anyone that can play a goddamn instrument. Like whatever it is, they can play the triangle, and I'm like, yes. So I thought she was very they like, I don't know, they kind of looked over her for some reason. Like as much as I love my Jiggly, I love Jiggly Caliente, but hers was a little bit like underwhelming. So I thought she was actually going to be in the bottom, and I hate saying that because I love Jiggly, but yeah, Serena wasn't that. I think you wanted more from Serena's performance, and Trinity was just like it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't funny, and I was like, come on, Trinity. And I get it. She wanted to do the stand-up comedy to tribute like season 6 where she won that challenge.
Right,
I think she won that challenge.
Yeah, she did.
And she did amazing.
Did she win that challenge? I don't know if she won it, but I think she was in the top.
Yeah, so it might have been Bianca, but I get it. But oh my gosh, she just flopped. Like, don't do stand-up. Do not do stand-up at the variety shows, I think. Like, do not do it. It's a curse. It's cursed.
Well, unless you're Bianca Del Rio.
Unless you're Bianca Del Rio.
Or Lorayne Love.
Well, look what happened to Derek Barry, and look what happened to the other one? Jasmine Masters. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you agree with the bottoms?
I actually I'm probably going to get hate because I know there's some Jiggly lovers in the chat. I thought Jiggly should have been in the bottom. I actually didn't hate Serena's. I thought Serena did a really good job, and I think if watching what I watched, again, maybe it's different there. Watching what I watched, Serena's was way more entertaining to me than Jiggly's was. Jiggly looked like she was out of breath. She looked like she didn't know what to do. She didn't look like she had rehearsed it. She looked like she was just trying to go off the cuff. Oh, Bianca won the challenge, but Trinity was in the top for that. Thank you for the answer, Eric, in the chat. So yeah, I was kind of like, I mean, I wasn't surprised with Silky only because, like, I agree with you. I'm the same thing. If they can play an instrument, I'm always like, oh, I'm so jealous because I can't. I mean, I could. It just wouldn't sound good. I just agreed. I agreed with whichever judge made the comment. You know, you got us going. You know, you wanted us to clap, and then you did this little light of mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get copyright stuff like that. I get it. But it was like I don't know. I wanted it to be more. I definitely wanted it to be more.
Yeah.
And I think everyone agrees Trinity deserved to be in the bottom. So it ended up being Trinity K. Bonet and Serena Chacha in the bottom two. Silky ended up being safe. The winner was Yara Sofia. Do you think Yara deserved the overall win, Ollie?
It was funny. I just thought it was a little bit overrated in terms of some of the other performances.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. It was just an easy titty bouncing thing, you know, and then she did it in like the lip sync, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it was cute. It was fun. But I was okay with her winning, but I definitely liked other performances better than Yara. But I'm happy that people are being reintroduced to Yara too at the same time. You know,
Me
like
too.
Come back, bitch, just like kind of like what India Farah did. She won the variety show, and people are reintroduced, you know, to a whole new fan base as well, and getting more love from the people that supported her from day one. So it's at the end of the day, I can't even be upset that Yara won. You know, it's cool.
I agree, and thank you, Max, because this is something else I wanted to say about Jiggly, that she wore a tennis shoe. I can't accept it. I'm sorry.
Did she?
Yeah, she was wearing like a platform gym shoe, and I can't accept that. I'm sorry. I just cannot accept that. And we'll talk about that in the next episode as well, because there was some men's shoes on the runway that was devastating to me. The other thing, I wanted to point out too, and I don't know if this is going to come back and bite her in the butt, but Yara Sofia says, I will Manila everybody. Her goal is to send the best home. So I don't know if they figured it out because of what she did with Trinity, being the only one that voted for Trinity, besides Serena. But I'm just worried it's going to come back and bite her in the booty.
And I love that she voted for Trinity. I love Trinity.
Yeah.
I love pretty much everyone in the cast. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
She's here to play the game. And we talked about this before. I love that. Manila bitches. Keep us on our toes. I don't give a flipping fadoodle.
Me either.
I love it. I'm here for it. Like, let's have those moments. So I feel bad that everyone kind of has like that wolf pack mentality of like, no, we have to vote out so-and-so because if we do this, like this will happen. I don't know. Like, make your decisions for you and how you're going to like excel in the competition.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, totally. I agree 1,000%. You know, we talk about this with this is what we were saying about regular Drag Race. If somebody's genuinely the worst, even though production wants them to go to the end, send them home. That's better TV. You know, you guys want to do better TV, but you think that better TV is you having control of it. No, because then we know and we can see that you're playing the game, like you're playing with us and trying to convince us to like people that we don't want to like and stuff like that. Yeah, and I agree. Thank you, Jay Ruiz. I do think it's very important to make Ru laugh. So I think that's where Yara knocked it out of the ballpark. Is she genuinely had them in stitches. And that's Yara. You know, I've worked with Yara. She's amazing. I absolutely love her as a human being, as a drag performer. She's wonderful to be around. I'm glad that a new generation of people are getting to know Yara Sofia. She is just as kooky and crazy as you see. This is not a put on. This is not her trying to be funny for the TV. This is genuine Yara Sofia.
We need her. We need people like that on the cast. And I think also, last thing I'll say is I think Ru genuinely does care and has a lot of heart for the queens from the earlier seasons. I think that's a huge thing too. I've noticed, and I love that.
Yeah, totally. Amber also agrees with you. She loves that Yara's playing the game like she is. She has the fight to win. I agree. Yep. Also, another Amber says she's in it because she wants the crown, and I think she even made a comment about that too.
Send those bitches home, Yara. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then Max also said he can see why she wasn't the best, but that's why she won, you know. So the lip sync assassin was none other than Miss Coco Montrese, which I was so glad to see. She was on my list of why is she not a lip sync assassin from a couple of seasons ago. Because she is an amazing lip syncer and proved to be. They did Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, and Coco Montrese won the lip sync against Yara Sofia. And so instead of Yara's choice going home, which we said was Trinity, the group's choice went home, which was Serena Chacha. Thoughts on that, Ollie?
I thought Coco killed it. Let me just say that real quick. I was so happy to see her. Also, I'm kind of damn, this bitch needs another shot at All Stars. Just saying. I would love for that. Ginger could have one. So could Coco, potentially. Who knows? But I love the lip sync. I love the look. It was beautiful. But for Serena, there's a part of me that really felt bad for Serena to go home.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm God damn, this, she has been berated and, insulted from this fandom for so many years in season 5, and I get it. She came on she kind of brought it on herself in a sense, being casted at such a young age with these heavy hitters like Coco and Alyssa and Jinx, Alaska. So she went home second. Except for Serena is forever haunting her, and I hope she's okay. At least she gets to come back and promote her wig business, and also like Yara and the other queens from earlier seasons, be reintroduced to the fandom. But I also just felt bad because she's never had a moment of redemption. And at least she got to be in this cast, do the shoot, do the press, do all that stuff. But I really wanted her to have a new moment,
Totally.
Personally, I felt bad, and I'm gonna feel bad week after week seeing a lot of these queens go home.
Yeah, I agree. Where was this comment I wanted to put up here? Yes, here it is. Ken, the early season queens gave much better TV than what we get these days. I mean, season 3 was way better than 13. You're never going to get me to disagree with that statement, Ken. I say this stuff all the time. So that was basically the episode. And then at the very end, we got a 1 hour later and cut to Serena in the workroom and a message from Ru telling her there's a game within the game. Do you want to play? And Serena says, absolutely. She came to play. So we will have to see what happens there. All right. So my quote of the first episode is going to go to Miss Eureka O'Hara. At the very beginning, I literally laughed out loud. I'd seen it already in the promo stuff, but I still think it's really funny when she said, I got them all-star lips. And yes, she does. Yes, she does. She definitely has those all-star lips. Excuse me. All right, so that was episode 1, all wrapped up. Thank you, guys. All right, so now let's start episode 2, the Blue Ball. Ollie, overall thoughts on episode 2?
Oh God, we have another episode, the premiere basically, and now we have a ball on top of that. I'm this is so much to talk about, and to take in all these beautiful looks. with 12 queens. But regardless, I love me a ball, and it just like we're on a roll. Like this season's on a roll, and I was totally here for it when I did get to watch the second episode. I loved it, and it just made me fall in love with a lot of these queens even more. So yeah, it's like I want to root for everyone. Basically, I feel like such a loser. Like I'm like I want everyone. I want everyone to do well. Well, some more than others, but
right. Well, I say that all the time too. Like I want a season where, like season 2, where I was like, I don't want any of them to go home. Well, there were a couple, but you just didn't. No matter who got in the bottom, you're like, oh no, I have to decide between these two. I had that experience with España. I know you haven't seen it yet, but this week's episode of España was that for me.
Oh God.
Just a reminder, you guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. You can click the little logo down in the bottom corner over there and subscribe. Click the bell if you'd like notifications when we go live and do these, because we love having you guys in the chat room. And be sure to follow us on social media, DRTVLA on all platforms. That stands for Drag Race TV LA, if you didn't know. All righty, guys. So, again, no mini challenge this episode. We had the mini challenge we had the reading challenge. But after the elimination, we did get to see the reveal of the lipsticks. And like we said, everybody except Serena chose Serena. Serena chose Trinity K. Bonet, and then Yara revealed that she also chose Trinity K. Bonet. Let me ask you this, because I didn't ask you this before. Were you surprised that Yara picked Trinity K. Bonet, Ollie?
No, because I think we've kind of come to this known fact that her and Serena kind of have like a friendship for a long time. At least that's what I got from it. Like it's what is it? It's Panama and Puerto Rico. Like they have a friendship. They have this bond that I think people just didn't really realize or notice. And that's fine. Like that should be totally respected. Like who's going to vote their friend out? I mean, you might kind of have to do that in this competition, but I had no problem personally with her voting Trinity out. So
yeah. I was a little surprised. I wasn't sure. But I guess I shouldn't have been by her comments that she was wanting to get rid of the best. So
just don't say it. Don't say it out loud. Do it. Yeah. Just don't say it out loud.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I guess she's saying it in the confessional. I guess she's not saying it to the queens per se, which is good. I think it's smarter than what Morgan did. Morgan went in the room and said, I'm just going to get rid of all the good people.
Right.
That's what the confessional is for.
Exactly.
I am so sorry, you guys. My eye is just not happy with me today. I don't know what I did. All right. So another thing that was a little different, I don't know if you noticed this, they didn't read the mirror message from Serena until the next day. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they usually read it when they come back into the workroom after the elimination and wipe it off, but they waited till the next morning and read it then.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense because they're clearly filming Serena's like leaving and all that, so they don't want to. Yeah.
So then, well, let's do this first. My first question is, Ollie, I feel like I say this all the time and people don't know what I mean by it. What does trade mean to you in the gay culture?
I always thought of it as like just someone who you're super attracted to.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there needs to be, like they were saying it needed to be someone with a little edge, somebody a little dangerous. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think trade is like somebody that if I'm out and at a bar and somebody is like, oh, giving me whatever. I mean, and that could be a feminine boy too. Like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like if you're cute, you're cute. And that's trade to me. So I just want to clear that up. I'm glad you agree, because I was kind of disagreeing with them in the workroom when they were saying that it meant they were edgy and they were like masculine and
like way too intricate. I'm like, it's not that serious, boo. It's literally who you want to sleep with or maybe form some kind of bond with.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Jan's boyfriend would say that Jan is trade. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot think Jan's trade. You can think she looks like somebody from the Mickey Mouse Club, which I do. I personally wouldn't think she's trade in a bar. But you know, my Daniel Mora Rojas from Drag Race España is definite trade.
You're
Milk
not
for
lying.
me is
Yeah.
definite trade. So I
No
think it's just like
lies.
yeah. So they
Right.
discussed who was the trade of the season. They never really established anybody. But Ollie Drennan, if you had to, gun to head, somebody from All Star 6 climb into the sack with, who would it be?
That's very easy. I'm glad you asked that.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally Kylie Sonique. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. I don't
Yeah.
care. She was just
I'm
gorgeous.
so funny that you said that because that was when they started talking. My first thought was Kylie, and I just no one even said her name, so I thought it was funny. But I thought the exact same thing.
How could you
Literally
not? How could you not? She is just
gorgeous,
radiating.
gorgeous. And you know, and I said this when I did the recap with Jacque and Jayla about the looks. And I would say the same. I said the same thing about Jiggly and Kylie, or Bianca and Kylie. She did tell us the name she goes by is Bianca. Like, just what a different. I mean, I shouldn't use the word different because they're obviously the same person, but what a more genuine person they both are now. Like, if you go back and watch their confessionals and stuff from their seasons to now, like, wow. Like, it just makes me like them both even more. I was never even really a huge Jiggly fan, but you genuinely can see how life-changing this is for transgender people to be their authentic self, to be who they want, who they were born to be. Kylie, just everything Kylie says in the confessionals to me now, I'm just like I don't know. And it's also because they're both older too,
Yeah.
you know, because we're very different when we're in our 20s to when we're in our 30s and stuff. I don't know how old they both are. They could both still be in their 20s. I don't know. I don't want to age anybody. Oh, sorry, I got a text. But good. Okay, so we agreed on that. All right, that's all I needed to know. Anybody in the chat, if you want to say who you think the trade of the season is? Amber agrees that Kylie is beyond gorgeous. Thank you. I agree 1,000%. All right, so the maxi challenge for episode 2 is throwing a ball, but not just any ball, a blue ball. They had to do 3 looks: a blue better work, which was a blue collar working girl look, a blue jean baby look, which takes denim to the next level, and the blue ball bonanza, a high fashion look with random blue materials. All right, so in preparing for the maxi challenge, excuse me, I think the biggest thing was that how much fun Yara Sofia was having in the workroom. Although people were saying it was, you know, she should have been working instead of just goofing around. I mean, at least, I mean, she, whether it's true or not, she did tell us in the confessional she was waiting for people to get done so she could maybe take some other garment, which actually I don't think is a bad idea. Because obviously if somebody's done, they're not going to use the stuff that's on their table. And Yara knows how to sew. So she can do something in 30 minutes, you know? So I felt okay with it. What were your thoughts on it?
I think Yara, like I already said, that she's just playing the game. Like, she is strategic. She is like the silent killer. Also, well, she's not silent by any means, but she is here to play, and she was able to make a garment regardless of whatever she took too long to, you know, start working on her garment. But she did it, and it wasn't all bad. But you know, I think at the end of the day, as long as you know how to sew, you just work on your own garment, like whatever speed you do, as long as you're able to get that done. It's all that matters. It's all that matters. So it wasn't too anything that I really like thought long and hard about.
Okay. I'm going to throw this up because I think this is a good question, Ollie. Carnage DeCarlo just wrote this in the chat. My problem with the word realness on the show is that in the balls, it means what a real bitch would wear. I love that you said bitch. That's what Trinity did, but this show doesn't actually want that. Thoughts on that, Ollie?
In terms of her garment that she constructed this week?
I'm just saying in general, your thoughts of that comment. I have an opinion. Whether do you agree with that? Do you think the word realness should be used? I'm guessing is kind of the point there. Because if you're saying realness, you are meaning, and I see what you're saying, Carnage, is that if you're saying realness, do you want off the rack? You know what I mean? We don't. I think when they say realness, they're meaning like drag queen realness. Yeah. So I don't think they're meaning it in the way that you're taking it to mean.
Yeah.
And by you, I'm not meaning you, Ollie. I'm meaning Carnage DeCarlo.
So I guess it's just like one of those terms that is so overdone. So it's almost has gotten. It's like if it is that with the ballroom culture, like now it's become something different by the oversaturation of the word realness on RuPaul's Drag Race. So that basically means like it's now like I'm giving you Tinkerbell realness. I'm giving you Mother Goose realness. I don't know. So that's a very interesting comment. Maybe they should.
That's why
well, it's also like create more interesting verbiage. You know, like if you're not going to actually do off the rack, which also like there's nothing bad about being off the rack. You know, like I don't know.
Agree. I mean, I'm an off the rack kind of gal, and I will do stuff to them to make them not look as off the rack and stuff like that.
Right.
Which I feel like I'm really good at doing that kind of stuff now. I just thought it was a really interesting question, which is why we like that you guys are here, because you do make us think about things that we didn't plan on talking about. I mean, I could say this is pompadour realness, but it's not realness. You know what I mean? It's drag queen realness. You know, this is black and white realness. You know what I mean? So I think that's, and I'm not commenting, I'm not saying that you're not justified in your question, Carnage. I just think that that's what they mean by realness. So I hope that makes sense. Let me just look in here real quick, Ollie, and see what else people are saying. Kylie carried her theme throughout the 3 looks. Yeah, I agree with that. I think she did. What does this say here? Ken, what is wrong with Silky? Is this personal taste matter? What was wrong? Yeah. I mean, I think Silky ended up being safe when all was said and done. So let's see. Trinity's conjunction was horrid. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah. Well, actually, we'll talk about it now because she's not in the top or bottom. This was the one that really got under my skin, girl. She came out in boy shoes.
Trinity did.
Yes, for her crossing guard.
I didn't even notice.
How do you not notice, Ollie? I'm gonna beat you with a stick when I see you next.
I didn't. Well, it was like I was already underwhelmed by her look for that construction look. Like, I liked her other looks actually, but yeah, I was like after seeing someone like Eureka, I'm so disinterested in like this. I don't know. It wasn't as exciting as Eureka's, like because they literally had it's the crossing guard, right? Am I thinking about the crossing guard? They kind of had this crossing guard look, which was the construction. So it sucks when like a queen has like a similar concept to you. Yeah, but yeah, Trinity's look was just kind of like,
Well, shoot, what was I just going to say? I was just going to say, well, here's a Carnage replied to us about the realness thing, and it could be that Trinity did take realness as meaning real everyday look. That's absolutely justified. I agree 1,000%. But, and I said this before, we talked about this with Drag Race Down Under, Ollie. If you're going onto RuPaul's Drag Race, you're there to do drag. So I get that Silky knows how to play the piano. I get that Electra Shock on Down Under is a dancer. When you perform in the talent shows, you need to make it a drag version of that, if that's what you're going to do. And by that, I mean, and that doesn't necessarily mean campy, but it just needs to have that drag essence to it. And if you're just going to go out and do modern dance, or you're just going to go out and play, a piano song, This Little Light of Mine, like I just feel like it needed to be a more draggy song, especially if you're going to do something like that. I think that's where Yara succeeded, is that she may not have done exactly what she would do in a show, but she did something good for Drag Race competition.
Yeah, you don't want to, I guess overall, you don't want to have any of like those shortcomings to which will then be converted into negative critiques on the runway.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. You better
Yeah.
wear those high heels, wear those pumps, wear a pump, girl.
Yeah, exactly. So many comments. So many people are commenting today. Sorry, I can't even keep up with them all. Sorry, you guys. Sorry if I'm not responding to you. It's not intentional. I'm trying to do a couple things here. So Rue came through the workroom also and talked to a couple of the queens. That's where we found out Jiggly told us the name she goes by now is Bianca. Mm-hmm. Also, I thought there was something too that Eureka said that was interesting. I was curious to get your thoughts on. She made a comment of big girls have a tendency to lean more towards camp. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know.
I just, I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think a lot of that comes from being a bigger person. We tend to find the humor and stuff because we know that people aren't going to be like cruising us when we walk into the bar. So all we have now is comedy, personality, and those kind of things. So I think, in my opinion, that's why the bigger queens tend to do that, is because a lot of them aren't like, for example, actually, Candy Muse. I know you never thought I'd be using her as an example, but she's very self-confident in her appearance, regardless of her size, and will go out in a bikini. I don't think a lot of bigger girls would do that. Or they would do it in a way that it would be funny. I think a lot of it is you're covering for like, and I'm going to admit, I've thought this before where I wouldn't wear something because I thought, well, people are going to think that I'm trying to look sexy and make fun of me for trying to be sexy when I'm not, if that makes sense. I just thought it was an interesting comment. I just wanted to bring it up.
That's good. Well, if anything, I think it's the big girls. Maybe people don't think they're beautiful, but at the end of the day, the big girls are like, have all of this like confidence, this personality, this self-love. At least I would think, like, seeing Eureka perform live, like, you see that confidence that some of the skinny bitches don't have. You know, like, okay, it's great. You have a bikini body, your body, yada, 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 yada. But at the same time, where's your confidence in the self-love that you don't have, like a big girl like Eureka might have? So it's almost better to have that personality, to have that self-love within you, which is so, like, that's the most crucial, important thing about just being a human being, let alone a drag performer. So I think these big girls have something special that some of these skinny queens don't, is what I'm basically having. What I'm saying. They have that core sense of identity that, some people need to work on. And it's like those younger skinny queens.
Yeah. I think you're right. And Carnage also says this too, that he thinks Silky is a big girl who doesn't go for the camp. I agree. Silky doesn't really go for camp. That's a very good example. Thank you for saying that, Carnage, because I think that, especially for being a part of this. Jay Ruiz says they could be using it as a shield, maybe. Exactly. Yeah. I do think it is. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I don't know that I necessarily, when I started, I obviously wasn't as big as I am now. When I started doing drag, I was much younger. But I think a lot of times you do, especially when you don't have a lot of self-confidence, funny is the way to go, because if you can get somebody to laugh, then you can get them to pay attention to you. So I just thought it was an interesting comment that she made. Also, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is something that I think I should talk about in particular, just because Raja O'Hara was not a fan of mine on season 11. I had very strong opinions about her. But she talked a lot to Rue when Rue came around about her insecurities coming out on season 11, and that it was a lot of misdirected energy. She was trying to be more of her authentic self now. I'll be honest, even in 2 episodes, Ollie, I will say when I'm wrong. I will say when, if somebody changes my mind. And I'll say in 2 episodes, I'm already my mind is a little more towards, okay, that wasn't the real Raja that I saw on season 11. I'm more willing to forgive her. and I look forward to getting to know her more. Do you see a change?
Oh, totally. She seems so much happier. Like her mental state seems just so, because it was all like, even the way they edited her, it was Raja didn't have a personality other than like she just hated like Evie or so and so. And I really felt bad because so many people were kicking her down on season 11. And like when you're constantly getting that edit, I think the show is also probably being a lot nicer to her, you know, and I'm happy that she's doing well. She seems to be in such a better place. And I've definitely, it's nice seeing, I hope this is like, I would like to say that this is the real Raja, you know, that we weren't lucky to see in season 11. And I think, I forget who said this. I think it was actually in episode 1, but like, we're here to rewrite history. And I think this is a perfect theme for at least this season of All Stars. And so it's really cool to see someone like Raja, you know, do well in this competition right now.
Yeah. Well, when we did, sorry, I keep talking about it, but if you want to go watch it, go watch it. When I met with Jacque and Jayla about the entrance looks and the promo looks, Jayla is friends with Raja. So she was trying to like convince me because I was, you know, especially at that time, I was still not convinced. So, you know, she kept saying to me like, no, she's just not like that. She's such a sweet person. That's not. So, and I think you even remember when we were at DragCon, I didn't even want to interview her. I didn't even want to go over. I think I held the camera while you guys interviewed her because I was like, I didn't really want to. And I'll say it. I regret it. You know, I think that she's definitely got, you know, again, you know, I'm not going to let her off the hook because ultimately she said and did the things that she said and did.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
Also, I think it's like, this is a good time to kind of like, also just no matter what, like put yourself, like this is why I'm so upset with like Serena's leaving, because it's like, we don't put ourselves in that human's shoes and like how they're being perceived by the outside world in this show where this toxic fandom exists and can be really nasty and mean. And so it's unfortunate that Serena wasn't able to do that, you know, after all the hate she's gotten over the years of being on two episodes. People still quote like, except for Serena. And so like Raja, just thinking about her when we did like interview, we've like interviewed like all of the cast for 2019, which is really, this is why this is such a special season too, I think. Yeah. So I understand why she was a little defensive and guarded towards us at DragCon, even Raja.
Yeah.
You know,
when she was.
We did it. So, and like, I just had to like, fuck, like, I can't imagine what it's like with the fans being so mean and nasty to her. So I'm really happy, regardless, that the fans now are meeting her, being reintroduced, and falling in love with her. Like, even myself, I'm like, she's really freaking funny. Her confessionals. Yeah. You know, I'm starting to like really root for her. And it's a really cool thing to see her on this journey. Yeah.
Todd says in the chat, Raja is the confessional slayer. And I would agree with that too. She's really funny. All right. So let's get to the runway. We're obviously not going to talk about all 36 looks. That's just never going to happen. So I only brought the photos of their constructed costume. And then we can talk about anybody else that needs to be discussed while we're doing that. The guest judge was Big Frida. There's a photo of Big Frida for you. I know who she is. I couldn't tell you what she does. Do you know, Ollie?
She's on she does a lot of features. Like, obviously she's an artist, but she's been featured with Ru, obviously. She's been featured with Kesha. She's larger than life personality. I loved her purple look this week. But definitely one to watch.
Yeah. So it was Big Frida, Michelle, and Carson. No Ross this week. And then, of course, RuPaul herself. And here you go, Ollie. Here's RuPaul's look. Your thoughts on this look? Very colorful.
I really like Ru when experimenting with different silhouettes. You know, like she did it for Down Under, which was one of the good things about Down Under. Ru had amazing looks. But this was fun. This was definitely a fun, interesting, constructed like silhouette for her.
Agreed. All right. So the top 3 queens, we'll go through those first, Ollie, were Raja O'Hara, Kylie Sonique Love, and Eureka O'Hara. I'll pull up Raja's last look on the runway, which was the one she constructed. And you can give me your thoughts on that.
I loved it. It gave me like Fifth Element, very sci-fi, kind of deal. I also just love Raja in pants, but I also because she wore lots of pants. I'm like thinking back, I'm like Raja wore lots of pants and like leotards on her season. So it's cool to see her in like a new like in a dress. Like when we saw even when she made that dress in the talent show, I'm like, okay, Raja, like it's nice seeing you in these dresses, but I love pants still regardless. But I definitely thought it was one of the strongest looks that were constructed for the ball.
Yeah, she did. I liked it too. I'll explain later why I didn't think she should have won. Somebody else should have won personally, but I just felt like her first look. Come on, I mean, it was literally a store-bought outfit. Like she didn't even bedazzle it. Nothing. I'm sorry. Like. I get it. It was cute with the hat on the beehive. I get that. That was cute. But like to give her the win when, in my opinion, Eureka had the 3 strongest looks in each category. I'm sorry. I felt like Eureka got completely robbed from the win. My opinion.
I agree that I really liked her crossing guard for Eureka.
Yeah. All right, here's Kylie's final of the 3 looks, her third look, her blue.
Beautiful. Like I just loved all her looks. They were all very different. I love the Christina Aguilera one with the trans flag on it. I loved the very fashion kind of runway moment she did for the first look. Like they all just look different, and it was just so fun to see Kylie in these different looks that I think her it was like a VMAs for her constructed her blue balls, right? It was like a VMAs inspired or something like that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I ate it up. I bought everything she was selling.
Yeah. I don't think her third look, this look that we're showing now, was her best of the 3. I actually think it was the weakest of the 3, in my opinion. But I agree. I think she did a great job. Like she just entertained me from the moment she walked on, the moment she walked off. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I'm just. Okay. It's so funny because it's like I'm just thinking like, God damn, there's just so many looks. There's so many looks.
So many looks. So sorry guys, we're not going to go through all of them. We'd be here all day. We got things to do. But and then third up is Eureka's last look. Ollie?
I didn't like this.
No.
Her other looks were strong, but I just didn't. It wasn't bad. It was better than our poor Jiggly, but it was just a little underwhelming in comparison to like. I think of like someone who wasn't in the top, which I get because the other 2 looks weren't that great, or the first look was bad. Like Trinity's Cinderella moment. Are you kidding me? I liked it, regardless of whatever. That huge ass Cinderella ball gown. I thought it was like, wow. But I get it because her other looks weren't that strong. But I do like that Eureka isn't afraid to like. Her storyline was like, look, I'm body positive. Like I'm go out in this like swimsuit kind of like ordeal, and I like that. But it was just also at the same time, it was not as exciting.
I don't know. I just thought I like simple too, so I don't like stuff overdone. I just thought like she really just looked gorgeous. Like she did, and Eureka can sometimes go overboard with accessories and this and that. I like that she just had like the jeweled glove on and stuff, that she kept it real simple. Again, showed the body positivity. I don't know. It really stood out to me. It was unexpected, not what I thought. Did you think those were you expecting those to be the top 3, or was there somebody else that you thought should have been in the top 3?
I was happy with those 3. Like overall, I think as a consensus, like the ratio made sense. But I thought I kind of like Scarlett again.
Yeah, a couple people in the chat. Yeah, a couple people in the chat.
I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
Like she also had that look, the one she did, the one she made, the blue balls look.
Yeah.
beautiful. That looked like some freaking designer made for her, to take to like a finale. Like, I was like, oh my God. I didn't really care for like the American flag look, but I thought it was still good. And then I liked her first, the working one with like the wood, the buzz saw thing.
Yeah.
I thought they were all interesting at the end. So I thought she's kind of getting snubbed in this competition. So I think, oh God, it worries me a little bit I worry about Scarlett.
Yeah. Yeah. Ken is asking me, yes, she looked gorgeous. This is Eureka. But still, I'm assuming this is who you're talking about, Ken. Yes, she looked gorgeous, but still put that on Derek, Barry, Lorayne. Did you still like it? You know what, Ken? I don't like your attitude, Ken. Let me just tell you that. And if I could kick you out of this chat room right now, I would. I'm kidding, Ken. You know I would never. Well, I'll say this. I don't think Derek Barry could carry it off like Eureka could. I don't think she would accessorize it like she could. And she couldn't make it, first of all. So, I mean, all she knows how to do is hem. So don't get me started. Ken, why are you doing this to me? This is the Lord's Day.
But don't you just love that? I know some people are now saying Jan was a little bit snubbed. But isn't it funny that she fit the storyline of like, not winning challenges ever. So
yeah,
I feel like Jan's getting snubbed and having the same storyline that she had on season 12.
Yeah.
She's not gonna, I don't think Jan's gonna win anything.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if she does get a redemption. So then the bottom three were Yara, Jiggly, and A'keria. I'll throw up Yara's look first for you, Ollie. Your thoughts on Yara Sophia's last look? Or all three looks, but I'm going to throw up the last one.
Oh my God. I think she was able to, like, I know that she was kind of like, oh, she was critiqued, like, this is going too much. But, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see that critique. I thought it looked really well all put together. Maybe it was the shawl that she had that was a little bit too much. But, like, I don't know. I think what her horrible look was like the construction one. Yeah. That was bad. And she brought the boobs back. I was like, what the hell? But she also, I really like that low crop, like blue look, the denim one, where her like butt was basically showing. So I'm like, okay, she saved it. And then this one kind of like evened it out as well. So I liked it. I liked the look too a lot.
I don't agree with the comment about bringing the boobs back. I don't mind bringing the boobs back. A lot of girls wear breastplates all the time, and no one ever says anything to them. So I don't think it's fair to call her out that just because she wore them last week that she couldn't wear them again this week. So what a queen who doesn't wear them should have to wear them. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's kind of, you're putting yourself in a tricky situation when you say that. I was very surprised she was in the bottom at first. My initial reaction was really surprised. But then the more I looked at it and watched it a couple times, my issue, and this is again my issue with Jan's constructed look. I'm going to pop up Yara's picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. So they're allowed to wear their own corsetry with their undergarments. So her top is her corset. She didn't make that. Let's not mince words. That was not in that pile of blue stuff. That was a blue corset that was stoned that Yara had, and she wore it as a top. Same with Jan. She made the cage, but Jan is really just wearing blue panties and a blue corset that she brought. So when I really looked at it and looked into it, I kind of went, okay, maybe you do deserve to be in the bottom because you only made a straight leg skirt with a little fishtail at the bottom and then the shawl, which again, I'm not saying I could make it and make it look that good, but when it was all said and done, someone like you guys were saying, Scarlett, who constructed a complete gown and it looked great, I think that's where she went wrong with waiting till the last minute to make something. I think had she really just put her all into just making something with what she had, I think she would have been a lot better off. Again, my opinion. Oh my God, I can't even see my computer screen. So then next up is Jiggly Caliente, Miss Bianca. Here is her third look from the runway. Ollie, your thoughts on Bianca?
It was the worst of the week.
Yeah.
And I love Jiggly. I was rooting for her regardless. I was like, oh man, I don't want her to go. She has so much to show. She wants to be here.
Yeah.
But this just was literally like she kind of just wrapped like a blanket over her and stoned it and put some ribbons on it. And it's like I guess the potato sack dresses, but that was like years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so hard, and it was hard to watch, and it was really heartbreaking, seeing her really just not do well this week. And this is like a challenge. Like it was a replicated storyline of her in her original season 4, not doing well in those unconventional challenges. So again, the redemption wasn't exactly served.
Yeah.
So it was sad. I liked her the blue jean one though that she was able to
with the skateboard.
Yeah, that was really cute. Yeah. And her first look was good too as well. I think she was and I loved she was taking the trash out and she had everyone's name on the trash can. It was super cute. But this look was just
I think if she was on a regular season, this would have been safe. I think because it's All Stars, I think you just have to come up with something very, very creative that may not be necessarily made well. But I think that's where her mistake. She said it's her downfall. And then last but least, I guess I should say, A'keria. This was her third look made with the plastic cups. Your thoughts on A'keria?
I thought she looked beautiful, but it was weird because I think they liked it, but she was in the bottom. Was that
they liked her they liked the last one, but they did critique her other two.
Okay. It's always hard. I always critique the balls too. The downside of the balls is how do you grade them when it's like one of them they construct themselves, they make it there, and then the other two they bring or have they make it themselves or a designer does it. So it's like what is like the main, how are we ratioing off the grading system? But the cups look good, but it was I will say I think it was kind of an awkward shape too for her. I don't know. It just looked a little like, I also don't like the cut of that. It looked like pencil skirty. I don't really like a pencil skirt personally, but that's just my personal taste. But I also just love A'keria's face. Like her face is always on point.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I knew A'keria was safe though, regardless. Yeah. Because this was clearly either Jiggly or Yara.
Yeah. I guess it's just too bad that this isn't RuPaul's Drag Race best drag face.
RuPaul's drag face.
RuPaul's drag face. I personally thought A'keria should have been in the bottom two. I did not like this. I thought it was poorly constructed. I did not like either of her other looks. I thought looking at A'keria compared to Yara, hands down, A'keria should have been in the bottom. In my opinion, it should have been A'keria and Jiggly in the bottom two, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh, Max, you agree with me? Yay, Max agrees with me. A'keria was very bad in my opinion. Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Again, my opinion. I also just, I thought it was also interesting when they went went backstage before Ru, they did the lip sync and everything. Both Yara and Jiggly both got very emotional before the elimination. And I felt, I really genuinely felt bad for both of them. Like, I didn't feel like either of them was putting on. I didn't feel like either of them were, just trying to feign tears to get to stay. I felt genuinely that they both really wanted to be there and really wanted to show more. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely with Jiggly for sure. And I think Yara was just frustrated. And maybe Yara felt also kind of like she just wasn't expecting to be in the bottom, so it was hard because I obviously have this huge heart and love for Jiggly, but then I also don't think Yara deserves to be sent home either. Yeah. So it's whether it's we were grading on either the construction or the outfits that you brought with the ball.
Yeah.
So it's literally opposite sides of the coin and how you want to vote.
Yeah. Here's a little, I don't know if you just saw this in the chat, Ollie. Carnage just shared, here's some inside tea. Silky was making something else, but when they got to the workroom the next day, her look was nowhere to be found, stolen. So that's why she was shown there rushing on the machine. I'm curious to know where you got that information. I'm sure you don't want to share, Carnage. But that's interesting. Interesting. I mean, well, I'll say this: if she just made that in a day, I give her even more props because those pants fit like a glove. They may not have been the best and the prettiest, but they fit her well.
Interesting. Well, she was nowhere near the bottom regardless, which is even more interesting.
No. Yeah, she was definitely safe. So the bottom two ended up being Jiggly and Yara. As we said earlier, Raja was the winner of the challenge. Our lip sync assassin this week was Miss Brooklyn Heights, who I didn't even recognize. I kept looking, going, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And they lip synced to Miss You Much by Janet Jackson. And it was a tie. Did you agree on the tie, Ollie?
First and foremost, I also agree with you. When they revealed her, I was like, "Who is that?" Yeah. Like, no shade, love Brooklyn.
No, I'm not saying it in that way either.
I had to be like, "Is that Trinity? Like a Trinity, the Tuck?" I was like,
yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh, I see the name Brooklyn." I'm like, "Okay, makes sense." And it was funny how she's going up against her season 11 sister. So, but I don't know. It was hard. It was even. I just don't like ties. I don't like ties.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's a double Shantae, like, okay, I get it, but that's clearly not for All Stars. I thought Raja should have won.
Okay.
Personally. I thought she just embodied it more. She was funny. She was also she played both parts. She was funny, but also she kind of just embodied the entire song and slayed it. Yeah. So I like that she was able to do that. Whereas Brooklyn was just one note of being like the sexy seductress.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. I thought it would have been more interesting if both of them ended up going home. Like, I feel like if you're going to do something like that, do it for a reason. You know what I mean? So I thought that was the missed opportunity. I didn't mind the tie. I just thought, okay, well then they're both going to go home. You know, that's going to be the gag, you know? So Carnage says Trinity and Silky were talking about it on Instagram. So thank you, Carnage, for sharing that with us. So that is something that was actually happened. Thank you. Who is this? Theo says Raja won the lip sync hands down. He agrees with you. I agree. I thought they both did a really good job. I really did. I no slam on Brooklyn or anything like that. I think they've got two good. I was going to say this. Your thoughts overall on the two lip sync assassins? I think they're great so far.
The what? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. The lip sync assassins. Are you happy with?
Oh yeah, like yes, so definitely. Far? Don't give us Miss Vanjie. No. Like give us. I love that they gave us Coco. Like Coco was in the bottom, and she's like one of the pioneers of the trailblazer. One of the pioneers of the lip sync assassin role. Yeah. And then obviously Brooklyn was in the bottom a couple times too. But so I'm interested because I don't look at spoilers, so I'm always really interested in seeing who's going to be the next like assassin they pull out. Yeah. So because the $10,000 from last week rolled over, Raja got $20,000 tip. She also got a $5,000 something for tip for winning the challenge, or I think something like that too. So she's doing well. So then again, an hour after, Ms. Jiggly is leaving the workroom and she gets another game within a game message from RuPaul. Do you want to play? And she says, absolutely. And so then my quote of the week this week, I actually laughed really hard, was when Jiggly sat down with Raja to convince her to stay. And she said, do you want my Netflix password? I literally laughed. I was like, okay, that's funny. So that's my quote of the week. So next week, they have to do ads to promote their side hustles. It looked like also from the commercial that they may be working in teams. I don't know if you got that. But that's what's going to be up for next week's show. And then there is a part at the end where Ru says, reveal yourself, which is where she usually presents the lip sync assassin, and nobody's there. I don't know
any thoughts on why no one's there?
Well, Hello Kitty says, don't think Tamisha will be back. So maybe Tamisha canceled her appearance. I don't know. I don't know. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to think about that because I didn't see that coming next, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
I'm wondering if it has to do with the game within the game. That's my only thought. I don't know what that game within the game would be, but I'm just wondering if that's what that moment is that getting revealed.
Maybe it was Ginny Lemon. She was like, nope.
Ginny Lemon from UK season 2. All right. So I do have a couple fans of the week. Actually, I have several. We had a couple new subscribers to the channel. Thank you guys so much who subscribed. Sandy Martin, Becky Weston, and Joey Vega subscribed to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope to make you proud. And then Zoino Miko wrote us a couple comments, and we appreciate those comments, and I do try to respond to everybody. So you guys are all fans of the week. Yay. All right. Some news and gossip. I mean, the usual stuff. Get Paramount Plus if you want to watch. Ollie and I will be doing a recap of Drag Race España's next 2 episodes. So episodes 4 and 5, because we did one of the first 3 episodes, and now we're doing 4 and 5. One of those being the Snatch Game episode. We're going to do that on Wednesday at 3:00. So I'm going to step down and I'm going to let Mark do it because he's really hoping that his husband, Daniel Mora Rojas, will eventually watch and fall madly in love with Mark and move to America and be my gay lover. And then I can bring you your Javier. I can bring him to you.
Oh, so yes.
Really, honestly, Ollie, I'm doing it for you.
Thank you.
I want you to have Javier. It's not about me and Daniel.
Yeah, it's hard because Javier is with someone right now, I guess. No. So, but at least yours is single. I have to deal. I don't know. I'm in a love triangle. Just this.
Yeah. Well, I think the key words that you said are he's in a relationship for now. So for now. You never know what'll happen. So that is it. Ollie, do you want to? Jayla and Jackie did not want to do this. Predictions on top 4 of All Stars.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Ready? Ready? Oh God, now I have to think. Okay. I think it'll be Ginger.
Okay.
Kylie Sonique. Oh God, I really want to say Trinity.
TKB. Okay.
Yes, TKB, and realistically, I think Eureka will be up in there.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think Ginger. I think Eureka. I mean, that's also me wanting big girls in the final 4. I do think Kylie's going to bring it. I mean, she's the only one in my opinion, that when they were doing the first episode, she really talked about I want to win this. And that always strikes me when they have that attitude. And I think that is what truly helps them move through the competition is to come in with that attitude. So I agree with Kylie. I don't know about TKB. But let me look at the list of names.
I would like to think that she does better. Come on, bring it, Trinity. This is what you've been waiting for it. And she's kind of like Kylie too. She wants it as well. I just hope she's able to perform, Yeah.
Dare I say, looking at the list, dare I put Raja O'Hara in the top 4?
I would love that. If she's continues on this path, I would love that. Because I could definitely see it if she just continues to perform.
I mean, just glancing at the names, the one that I was okay, who else? And I was kind of looking at Scarlett. I'm yeah, I don't think she'll make it. Jan, I don't think she'll make it. And then Raja, I got to Raja and I went, I don't know. Maybe she could make it. I'm going to go with those. So only difference is you have TKB and I have Raja.
Okay. And it's hard to narrow it down to a top 4. There's so many girls I like.
I agree, Amber. I would love to see. I know if Pandora's watching this, she's going to hate me for not saying her. I just I keep forgetting about Pandora. It's not that I don't love Pandora. I love Pandora. I will drink with her at Mickey's any day of the week. She cracks my shit up. I love doing shows with her. She is an amazing, amazing talent. I think she's never looked more beautiful on this. And we haven't talked about her because she hasn't been in the top.
Right.
Well, she was for the
variety show.
For the variety show, she was in the top. But I don't know. I just keep forgetting about her.
I think she'll go far. I think she'll be able to go far.
I think she will too.
But yeah, it's hard when there's just so many queens on this cast.
Yeah.
And there's obviously queens that stand out a little bit more than others. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's really difficult to say. But I'm happy that we're I don't know who's gonna make it there at the end, really, because it's it's not predictable. And I love that. And then we got this game on game thing, game in a game that's gonna even throw us off even more.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, and I agree. The Canuck, Pandora hasn't gotten a lot of airtime. I hope we see more. I think we will. You know, again, we're only 2 episodes in, but I think we got a lot. I think I will stand by my statement that All Star 6 started with a bang. I think that's pretty safe to say. All right. We made it through, Ollie. We did it. And it's only an hour and a half. Perfect. It's what we normally do for our other podcast. So we did 2 in the same amount of time that we normally do the other one. So thank you guys for joining us live. All of you did it. We had such a great conversation in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I mean, there was so much going on. I could barely even keep up. So I apologize if I didn't get to you. So hopefully next time. Ollie, tell them where they can find you on the social medias.
Yes, guys, you can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And you can find me on all social media at Lorayne Love. That's LORAYNE LOVE. If you spell it right, you can find me. Also, find our show on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. If you're a Twitch person, we do broadcast live on Twitch as well at DRTVLA. And again, please subscribe. It's down that way. In that corner, click on the logo and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. We may have a couple surprise little co-hosts this season for All Star 6, so you might see some new faces, some faces you haven't seen in a long time, so stay tuned for that. I think Jackie will be back next week. I'll be back next week. Hopefully Ollie will be back next week. And then again, Wednesday at 3 o'clock, Ollie and I will be recapping the next 2 episodes of Drag Race España, which I just saw too on somebody's video. It's now one of, if not the highest ranked of premieres for the season. Yeah.
Nice. It deserves that.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Hello Kitty. Thank you, the Canuck, Johnny Quest, Amber, Eric M. Everybody send an SOS out to Chucky Chuck because he wasn't there today. So we need to make sure he's okay. Love you guys. We will see you next week. Love you. Bye.